I didn't seem to lose too much weight this time, which is nice. I actually gained a pound from yesterday, which doesn't make any sense, but look at this little feature here. Belt is on the third hole. That's new. Normally sits at 2. Also, let's check out the flat stomach. So I haven't done any major fasting since my 9-day fast back in August. So I figured it's time to do some spring cleaning before I go on a clean bulk for the summer and give you guys some updates. So first of all, I'm 99% sure I have undiagnosed seborrheic dermatitis, which has cleared up a lot since my last big fast, but has come back since. So it's where I get really bad dandruff, itchy scalp, flaky eyebrows, and a red rash on my cheek. Usually happens every 3 or 4 weeks, lasts about a week each time. Anyway, the reason I think it's this specific condition is that the remedy for it works. MCT oil has basically cured the condition. Every couple weeks when I take a shower in the morning, I will wash my hair with Head and Shoulders, and once that's out, I will take some MCT oil, put it in my palm, rub it all in, just a couple of palms full of the oil. This might be harder for women who have long hair. I don't know how you would deal with that, but for me, I just rub the oil in, get out of the shower, and let my hair dry the rest of the day. I don't do anything with it. You'll ruin your towel or if you touch it, and you want to leave it in for a bit because to take effect. But I let it go the whole day, and then yeah, wash it off by the end of the night, and you're good to go. Protected for another few weeks or months or whatever. Shit works like a miracle. If anyone else is interested, you can find MCT oil at supplement stores like Popeyes or Body Systems. So what else? Since my big summer fast, my balanitis has completely cured, gone away forever, which is pretty sweet since I had it for like a decade, on and off. So great job, autophagy. Really nailed it this time. Again, that nagging knee injury slash meniscus pain that I had for a year and a half, gone, never came back. Again, nailed it. I mentioned to you guys I had some bacterial infection. Got rid of it with a light round of antibiotics, and afterwards I saw no difference. Nothing changed, so that wasn't the problem. I mentioned at the end of my last video that my plan was to go back to intermittent fasting, which I did do for a few weeks, and it was fine. I was doing this 16/8 protocol, and I just want to mention how fucking easy that protocol is. Like, if you're scared of skipping 1 meal a day, don't be. You're a wuss. Like, you're being a baby. It's so easy, especially after your body gets used to it after a couple days. Like, it's a piece of cake. Just lay off the sugar. Even though people were coming up to me and telling me my energy levels were up, I fell out of it for whatever reason. Went back to normal eating. But later on in the winter, I decided to try 1 meal a day, aka OMAD, because I figured if I'm telling my clients to do it, I might as well have that experience myself, so I know what it feels like. But again, I'm trying to gain weight, not lose it. And I quickly found that 1 meal a day wasn't going to be enough, even if I made the biggest meal possible. So I ended up kind of doing my own version, which ended up being, instead of 1 meal a day, I would just expand that to a 4 or 5 hour eating window, eat 2 meals in that window, and fast the rest of the time. So yeah, it's not 1 meal a day, but f it, YOLO. Anyway, that one took a little longer to acclimate to, about 4 to 5 days. And then the body was fine, totally used to it. The greatest benefit, though, was the increased productivity. I talked about that in my last video, my big long fast. And it's true again here for 1 meal a day. When you're not spending every couple, 2, 3, 4 hours thinking about your next meal and making the next meal and eating it and digesting it, you can do way more work. You can get way more done. You can do more things, think about more things, plan more things. You're more productive. So, if you are a big fatso, do 1 meal a day. It's easy. Don't bother with intermittent fasting 16/8. Just go hard. Go one big meal, one awesome meal. It could almost be whatever you want. That Snake Diet guy did the McDonald's diet for 30 days on it, and I think he still lost weight, and his blood profile was better than he started with. It's easy. It's healthy. You'll drop the fat quickly. Just do it. Also, I don't think I told you guys about the results of my in a can for 3 days experiment. That's what I had to do for my fat malabsorption test that my doctor ordered. It came back positive. I don't absorb fat at all. This is the main problem I'm having. It's not just IBS. I do have IBS for sure because garlic and onion, they go. But as far as the fat malabsorption goes, I do have an appointment to see a GI specialist in May, so that'll be nice. Maybe I'll finally get an idea of what the hell is wrong with my organs. Something to do with either my liver, pancreas, or gallbladder, I'm assuming. Something's broken. We'll figure it out. Hopefully it's something like gallstones, and I can just blast it with ultrasound and have it fixed. Just like that. That won't happen, though. It'll be something terrible that I have to live with the rest of my life. Damn it. So, that all said, I have been working with a dietitian. We're tracking and playing around with my diet, and we basically settled on something that seems to work enough for now. It's basically the same as the vertical diet I was doing before, except now this time I'm not cheating as much with dairy, avocados, nuts, and fatty foods and sausages. So right now I'm eating tons of white rice and potatoes for carbs, both sweet and normal baking potatoes. And I've discovered that Kraft Dinner with no milk is actually one of the things that I can handle with virtually no problems. I have been tested for both lactose intolerance and celiac. Both were negative, so whatever. I'll tell you what does fuck me up though. Fatty meats. Sausages or fatty cuts of steak send me right to the bathroom instantly. Like 10 minutes of starting a meal, I'm explosive diarrhea. Every time. I've switched to organic eggs lately because YOLO, but I can't have too many though, over like 2 or 3. And if I add some bacon, then again, that's too much fat, straight to the bathroom. So I got to keep my bacon pretty crisp. Make sure I pat it down with the paper towel. Take away all those drippings. The drippings are the problem. The steak drippings, beef, ground beef, and bacon, my God. That's what gets me. Lean meats though, go down super easy. And my stomach has zero problems with them. Veggies, broccoli and carrots, have a lot of those. They're fine. I still eat a buttload of bell peppers and tomatoes. I need them in my chili. Can't quit that. I allow myself salted butter on pretty much everything. If butter's an issue with me, it's not a big issue. I seem to be able to handle at least small amounts of it, as long as I don't go crazy slapping it on there. The body does need some fat though, so I will usually consume a shot of veggie smoothie with a little bit of avocado and coconut milk or almond milk in it. I still eat almond slices and small handfuls of macadamia nuts. Got to get those monos in. And I'll try to have salmon a couple times a week. Minimize my oils, even healthy oils like coconut and extra virgin olive oil. Those don't really sit well, especially if I have a lot of it. I can have a little bit, just to crisp the outside of my potatoes or whatever some recipe calls for. But if I'm just drinking oil, then things go wrong. Yeah, so vertical diet I think is pretty awesome in general, especially for athletes or anyone in strength training. It's easy digestion, high nutrient density foods that are just perfect fuel for an athlete or just day-to-day life. And that happens to taste good. One other thing, draft beers and most beers hurt me now. I used to drink only beer. I used to love beer. And I could have, 12, 15 or whatever and no issues other than the liver damage. But now it literally hurts my stomach and I can't, and I feel like trash. So now I've switched to vodka and gin and sodas with some lime. A couple Heinekens every now and then works too, but draft beer, bad news bears. All right, on to the actual 3-day fast. I learned a lot from my fast last time, and the comment section is full of people telling me I did everything wrong, so this time I simplified it. So last time I was consuming things like apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, and cream of tartar. I cut all that shit out. But a lot of you seem to be under the misapprehension that water fasting means you can only drink water. That's wrong. Salt, stevia, green tea, black coffee do nothing to interrupt your fast. You can have them. Whoever is telling you otherwise, stop listening to them. They are wrong. Go read a book. Snake juice, for example, is completely compatible with water fasting. It's basically no different than water fasting, except you're giving your body more of what it needs, and you feel better. Dry fasting is the only real way to do fasting any differently that your body's going to notice. But I'm not really into that, at least right now. Now, a few of you have mentioned that you need to ease into your first meals when you're breaking your fast. Start small and then build up to it. From my experience, and literally everyone on the internet ever, that's bullshit. It makes sense in theory, but I promise you, that's not how it works in real life. Sure, you can break your fast with strawberries or watermelon, and you're not going to have instant diarrhea. Fine. But as soon as you start eating some serious carbs, protein, and fat in a meal, even if it's a small meal, you're going to have diarrhea instantly. You can't avoid it. Your body wants to get rid of the crap it's been cleaning out. Just let it do its thing. You're going to have diarrhea. You're going to be sitting on the toilet for a while. Just prepare for it. Accept it. That's fasting life. Once that first bout of diarrhea is out of the way, you do not have to inch your way up in meal size. You can start eating giant meals right away. I've done this every time, like 4 or 5 times, and nothing bad happens. It's fine. Your stomach can handle it. Maybe unless you've been fasting for, weeks and weeks, months and months, whatever it is. But you'll be fine after a few days or a week or two. A few of you said I was crazy to work out during my fast, and I think I mostly agree, especially after the disaster of my 9-day fast. So this time I made sure to keep my workload light. I did feel a bit of the weakness and sluggishness this time still, but it wasn't nearly as bad as last time, and my sleeps were way better. Some people have suggested to basically be a complete hermit for the fast and just go off into the mountains and meditate. I can see the value in that, but you don't really need to. It's true that your emotional state gets kind of blunted and you don't really feel like you belong socializing or out and about in the world while you're fasting. You do feel kind of like an empty shell, like I did last time. So, being by yourself can help, but you can be doing work, you can be entertaining yourself, but doing intense high mental capacity work, that can be tough. My first night fasting, I was working hard on the computer. My brain became exhausted, and it can feel like a heavy day of physical work to your brain. So focus on easy tasks. A few of you mentioned getting rid of mucus in the body, because I had mentioned I had mucus in the stool in my last video. These are completely different things. Certain foods can give certain people a buildup of mucus in like the lungs and stuff. That's not what I got. I have fat malabsorption. That's what the mucus in my butt is from. Some of you said I am cute. That is both flattering and creepy, depending on who said it. You know who you are. A couple of you silly vegans out there are telling me that meat is my problem. Listen, vegans. Cooked meat is literally the thing that your body is most able to digest. Read a book. Raw plants and legumes are what's giving your digestion the biggest trouble. YouTuber Genius Idiot says, want to cure IBS? Quit eating toxic plants. It always causes issues. Yeah. Man's not wrong. A couple of you were mystified that I went out to the bars with friends. It really does come down to the person here. I know a guy who excels at this. If you're a highly social person and you have the willpower and you like your friends, it's not a tough decision. A couple of you mentioned the carnivore diet. That doesn't really make sense for anyone trying to gain weight, so I'll ignore that. Unless I'm a billionaire and I can afford the best cuts of grass-fed organic steak, liver, and salmon, enough to turn all that excess protein into muscle glycogen. Sounds expensive and annoying. I think I'll stick with white rice. So, how was my overall experience this time around? Sleep was much better this time, but not perfect. I'm not really sure why it was much better, but having not entered ketosis ahead of time before I started the fast, and having ate a couple high-carb meals before I started the fast, the first day and a half were terrible. A lot of cravings. Just thought about food the whole time. It got much easier after that, though. I also hilariously screwed up the start of my fast 2 times in a row. Normally, when you start a fast, you would eat your last meal at night so that you can go to sleep and wake up, 10 hours fasted. That was my plan this time. But a couple hours after I woke up, I forgot I was fasting, and I made a meal of chili and rice. And after a couple bites in, I go, oh, shit. Well, I've already made the food. It's already hot, so YOLO. Ate the meal. Then, like 3 or 4 hours later, I'm working on my computer, and I've got these candied peanuts in front of me. I just open the bag, casually start eating a few. Again! God damn it. Anyway, other than that, it was pretty easy. By day 3, I felt like I could have kept going longer and longer, but again, I'm trying to gain weight, not lose it, so I can't go too long without food. If you have any other questions or comments, let me hear about it in the comment section.
Like and subscribe, you bums.